Hi, it's Johnny Burgin with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson. I'm here in Milwaukee, got my WMSE t-shirt on, and I'm here with my dear friend Guy Fiorentini. Guy plays with the mighty Miss Erica, who is a wonderful R&B, soul, blues singer from here in Milwaukee. Plays guitar for her, plays bass for lots of people. Hot Club of Milwaukee, right?
I play guitar in Milwaukee Hot Club too.
Guitar in the Milwaukee Hot Club, and he plays bass with me often when I come through here, and it's great to be back here with Guy. We're going to play a little bit of Knockin' At Your Door by Elmore James with Wayne Bennett on the smoking lead guitar. You ready, Guy?
Let's do it.
All right. Anyway, thanks, Guy. Thanks for playing with me, man.
Right on.
All right, we're going to talk about two sides recorded on the same day with Wayne Bennett on lead guitar with Elmore James. Eddie Taylor's in there too, but it's hard for me to hear him. Can't really see where he's at. And Elmore James, you can just hear him in the back of 12-Year-Old Boy hitting the slide. But basically, Wayne Bennett is kind of the star of these, or at least the foil to the vocals of these two amazing sides. And boy, he must have really, he definitely had his Wheaties that morning. I mean, he was fired up, and it's a lot like what he did on the Duke sides with Bobby Bland and stuff, but it has so much more aggression. I mean, I don't know what was in his head that day, but boy, did he smoke it. So let's try this. This is the intro lick to Knockin' At Your Door in D. And look at the difference between all down strokes and alternate picking. Here's alternate picking. And then bam, just play the top part of a D bar chord, this chord here. But not the whole thing, just top 4 strings is good enough. So, give it a little tug. I mean, this is kind of like the angriest T-Bone stuff ever with the most, badass tone, So this is 10 and 12 B string, 10 and 13. Give it a little tug, just a little bit, so it's not this. That's kind of like blah. The notes by themselves are kind of blah. It's the attitude and the picking that brings them to life. So here we go. Bam! And you can play a whole 9th chord, G 9th, with the low E string, or you could just play the 3 strings. Can't exactly tell. Why not just do the whole chord? You could even go the whole chord here with the thumb. Bam, da, 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 down. Especially if you're a trio. In trio, you always got to make it bigger, make it louder, make it stand out more. And then And that bend is like a real quote unquote sour bend. That's the word Billy Flynn always uses. It's not. And no vibrato. There's hardly any vibrato anywhere. There's a little bit some places, but not much. So, but enough to make it sting and make it stick out. And then he goes. Now let that note sit there. Don't go. You already sort of lost the power. This is kind of like just a sledgehammer hitting an anvil. So you don't want to move that sledgehammer around on the anvil and grind it. You just want to hit it. So, and it swings. It's a hard swing, but it's not. So that was the notes. But it didn't really swing that much, did it? It was like, da, 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 da. Listen to something, you can almost feel your eyes glazing over. So let's try making it swing. And it's hard for me to describe swing. But it's like the rhythm when people talk. They don't talk like this. It's like the rhythm when people talk. You know, there's like an up and down inflection and rhythm inside people's speech. So this is like you're saying it. So let's make that da 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 do 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 do. So you can start by just putting the, if those are like triplets, put the accent on that first one, like. And then he answers with this note. Again, no vibrato. It's like a sledgehammer swinging up to something on the ceiling. And then something like that. That's really cool. There's these jumps between the strings. That's, you know, he's a savvy guitar player, even though he's playing so like savagely. So it's all right here in like sort of a D6 chord, and that's 10 and 12. Roll over to the 12th fret here. Hammer on. That's the dead middle of your chord. 11th fret G string with your second finger. And then it ends here. This is like a great ending for phrases. This is the 5th of your chord. And it just puts you dead in your chord without. He's saving this D note to the very end because he wants to resolve it in a big way. So swing it. There it is. So I finally got to my point there. That's when he really hits the one, right? As we go through the 5, 4, and then do 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 do. And it's like, yes, we are back to the one. We're sort of at the end of the story. It's like screaming out, the end, dude. So that was going really fast. But here's what he does on the 5. Something like that. I think I got that a little wrong, but he did end with this. I had to listen to this a million times to realize he did that, and that's super Bobby Blandy, the early Bobby Bland. That was it. So I had to play the whole thing. Anyway, that's nice. And then that really swings, and that's just your nice little chords. But I'm going too fast. Here we go. That's 10 and 12 on the B and E strings. That's 13 and 12. 10, 12. I said, baby, baby. And now here we get to these great chords, which a lot of you guys probably know them, but maybe some of you don't. So this is a D ninth. So let's take these 3 fingers of your D ninth on the 10, 9, and 10 of the D, G, and B strings. Move them up 2 frets, slide them up, and slide them back. Every once in a while, he's just got so much extra energy to burn. He's going, you know. And to do that over this, over the 4 chord, you've got this. That's 10, 10, 10. Top part of a G ninth, right? Up to 12. And really give it a nice push at the top. He only does that once. Mostly it's just he simplifies it. Who's knocking at your door? Well, must have been your best friend. So anyway, this is cool what he does on the 5. It's cool. It's like, so this is the top. This is a G ninth, right? So 12, 11, and 12. So he goes, yeah. Well, that's a trip. That is a trip. Well, must have been your best friend. And then he does some cool licks there, you know. I forget what that was. Anyway, that's... So he did this little alternate bass line thing, which was kind of... I've never heard anybody do that. I've never heard this anywhere else but in this song, and I like it. So then he slips over to the 12th fret of the E string. Same thing over a G. Instead of an A, this is in your A, right? Well, must have been. That's a cool lick that he does at one point. All right, so now I'll try the solo, the second solo. It begins with a solo, then there's one more solo because he's just so doggone fired up. Let's try it. So here we go. That's cool. That's classic T-bone, right? That's bending on the 10th fret G string, 8 on B and E. You can even tug those notes a little bit. So that's kind of an answer to that one. These are very much a part A, part B thing. And again, it ends on that 5th note. And then he does something really cool. Something like that. It's so guttural, and the rhythm of it is so cool. I guess he just sort of slid up into the 10th fret of the G string and then did a bit. It's weird. You don't want to make it sound too comic. You just want it to sound sort of visceral. So part 2. And now we're on the 4, and he goes, I love how, you know, he's not trying to play fancy notes. He's just like firing them away so hard. That's great. It's just the first pentatonic stuff you learn practically, right? 11 and 10, 11 and 8 on the E and B strings. 11 on B string. And then let that note hang for a minute. And then he goes, okay, now we're in the 4. He's going to play it here. That's great. Now don't do that bend all the way up and don't vibrato it. You just lost your power there, because remember, this is the sledgehammer approach here. Make it a little flat. That's cool. Then you're on 11th and 13th. 11th E string, 13th B string. All downstrokes. It's going to sound so much better than this. That's just so wimpy, man. And now we're wrapping up towards the 5-4-1. He goes, this is nice. He's changing sort of to a more major sound from this. He's going a little more major. Leading off with the major 3rd, 9th fret G string with your 2nd finger. Put you right in the middle of your C6 chord, C chord. Let's try that. And notice how he ends this. This note is just dead in the middle of your A9 of your 5 chord. It seems like I might have called something by the wrong chords back earlier. It just occurred to me because we're in C, not D. Anyway. So. Yeah. So anyway, 12-year-old boy, and it goes. Fenton Robinson does that too. That's 13, 12, 11, 10. And then your 9th chord, the raise 5 and the 5, it's B flat and an A. With the low E string on that 2nd fret. Again and again, right? I feel bad, I feel too. Try all downs, you know. If you can't do all downs, yeah, that's kind of the horn part there. Anyway, let's try the solo. I think I'm getting it wrong. Oh, so satisfying. So this solo is not that hard to learn, especially if you slow it down, then it'll be really slow. So this is all here in this sort of D minor shape. Or the main thing is to really put the expression in there so it doesn't sound like some sort of AI generated guitar solo. You know, it kind of has this heavy swing to it and that sledgehammer downstroke attack, at least mostly downstrokes, and the tugs. It's not. Let's fire it up a little bit. And then this is just amazing. Now we're over the 4. And then just slide into that D and slam it. He's slamming those root notes. He does that in Knockin' At Your Door too. He goes. So you can just slam into those root notes. It kind of says, we're here, but it's just, he just had a lot of excess testosterone and fire that day, you know? So, I'm forgetting it now, but he does this amazing thing on the 5. Plays this heavy, and that's the chord he uses for a turnaround. I was wrong actually. He goes, yeah, or have fun with 12-year-old boy. I think you guys can get most of that. There's a little strange things in there occasionally, like he goes. He ends up going here for a minute. Out of this sort of D shape. Just for a hair behind the singer. And then like he quickly sort of like changed his tack again and went back to the that bend there, which is, you got to use your third finger on the 12th fret, third finger, 12th fret, G and B strings, and push it up. So that's a song that's well worth learning note for note. I didn't totally hunt that one down and kill it just because we're a little short time, but really fun. I did a version of this song behind Jimmy Burns on the record Leaving Here Walking. I think that was 1996 on Delmark Records. Really good record. Jimmy sang it wonderfully. And anyway, but it does not have the sledgehammer power that this one has by a long shot, because that's what this song is all about. I mean, and he was a perfect foil to what Elmore James was doing. So just try to put that heavy swing in there and really mess with your tone. I mean, it's probably too loud for this video right now. And try playing with hardly any vibrato. Every once in a while it has a vibrato, you know. Sometimes here he has a little vibrato, but basically back off on the vibrato and try to go in. See the power of that note just sitting there without. That's great too, but you know, save that for another song, you know, and see how that goes. So anyway, Wayne Bennett was so wonderful. It's amazing that this was 1957. By 1967, he was in New York studying harmony. He did that instrumental version of Casanaova, Your Playing Days Are Over, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, he played jazz and orchestra pits and, you know, sight read. Fascinating guy. There's some really great Wayne Bennett videos of him at Elderly Instruments in Lansing, Michigan, talking about his playing philosophy and his career. And it's well worth watching. It's a long video, but it's well worth watching to get to know Wayne Bennett. And I'm definitely going to come back to some more great things that Wayne Bennett did, but this is a great start. So if you have some Wayne Bennett stories, observations, any of that, please let me know your thoughts. And thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join me on Patreon. I appreciate your support. See you guys next time. Thanks.